going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. No One White here again for another video. I hope that everyone had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I pray that you guys all have a blessed year to come. You guys all have favor upon your lives, and just know that God's looking out for you guys. Figured I'd share that with you guys. Today I believe this year I believe is going to be a good year for the channel, just a good year for everything. I hope that you guys are all doing well, you're all healthy, and so on and so forth. As you can see, I have the Lexus, one of the Lexus, in the garage, and I've really just been waiting on the weather. The weather here has been kind of just pretty terrible. I mean, it rains, it always rains where I live at, but it just gets really cold too, and I have no desire to be outside in the rain and in you know, in the cold temperature trying to work on a car. I just don't want to do that. So figured I'd start on the car now. It could very possibly rain again tomorrow, but I'm gonna try and start on this Lexus now. As you guys know, I did buy a manual transmission Lexus IS300 2004. If you haven't checked out that video, go check it out. It's just a stock car. It does have BC Racing coilovers on it, but other than that, it's just a stock Lexus. There's nothing done to the engine at all. It has 248,000 miles on it or something like that. So the goal for this car would be, I don't know if you want to call this, I don't know what to call this. I'm evolving this build, but my original plan was to manual swap the auto car. But since this other car came up for sale at a good price, it just made more sense to go that route. So I'm going to go on ahead and what I'm going to do is take the engine out of the auto car and put that whole engine and the turbo and all that stuff into the manual car, and then take the manual engine and put it into the auto car. I know that seems like a lot of work. Why would I do all that? Mainly because I don't really know the condition of this manual engine. It's fine, it runs great, it has good power. I mean, it's a 2J. They don't really blow up unless you do something very stupid with them. It already passed smog. It has no check engine lights whatsoever. So I trust that it is good enough to go back into daily duties into the auto car, which I'm just going to return the auto car back to stock, and you know, my daughter will probably drive it, or whoever can drive it. And then I'm going to use the engine that's in the auto car now. Since I know it, I've been beating on it, it's been living, I'm going to use that engine and stick it in the manual car. You know, get a new clutch, flywheel, all that stuff, and go through all of it, clean up some wiring, clean up things that I want to do. I don't really want to say it's like a build 2.0 because I'm really not going to change the setup too much. There are things that I'm going to clean up and things I'm going to address while everything is out of both cars, but mainly the turbo kit will stay mostly the same, because really the CX Racing kit kind of, you know, gets beat on all the time, and it is cheap. It's a cheap kit, I get that, but I do feel that it has a potential to make good power, and I'm really trying to see how far the stock 2J, the GE motor, can go. It's been long standing that these things will only make 350 horsepower reliably, but currently at the power level I have it at in the auto, I know I dynoed it a long time ago on 6 pounds. I think in the video it says 7 pounds, but really that it only made 7 pounds for like 1 second. It was really making like 6.8 pounds of boost or something like that, and it made 272 wheel through the auto through a stock catback exhaust. So I know right now I have it turned up to 12 pounds of boost. It really feels like it's making over 360 wheel, maybe somewhere around there, and that's through the auto. So obviously if I take it through a manual, I'm really hoping to crack 400 wheel, a little bit over 400 wheel currently how it sits. I believe it can do that. I don't know if the W55 is going to last, but that's what I feel it's at. So needless to say, I'm going to be pulling out these motors. I'm going to try and take you guys along with me on the ride. I know you know, if you guys don't want to see how to pull a motor out, I've never pulled one of these motors out, and it'll be a learning process for myself. But you know, I'll show you things here and there. I'm not going to show you every single detail because honestly that's just boring. But my goal is to take the motors out of both cars, swap them, and I'm probably going to try and get the auto one up and running first, just so I can that's the easiest one to deal with, and just get that one going, and then I'll mess with the manual one more in detail. So I'm going to say this at the front half of the video. I appreciate you guys watching the videos, supporting the videos. Continue to do so, continue to comment. I am very active in the comments, and I try to help everyone out as much as I can. And also, I don't know if you guys know, I have an Instagram. I don't post anything on there. It's purely for communication, but I am trying to get into tuning with the ECU Master EMU Black. I'm pretty well familiar with the software and these engines, but I mean, I can tune any engine. I've tuned lots of stuff, so I'm not a professional, but you know, I'm not an idiot either. So you guys can see I tune my own stuff. All my stuff is running. Nothing is blown up. You know, cross my fingers, but but yeah, just hit me up on there if you guys have any questions or any of your buddies or anything. And yeah, let's just get into the video. All right, so I mentioned I never pulled one of these motors out before. I have read a little bit about them. You got to pull the bumper off, pull the crash bar off, pull this radiator support off, because this is a long engine, and essentially it all just comes straight out the front. You know, I've done BMWs like that, E36s, E46s, all the BMWs are the same way. I've worked on a few Audis that you have to pull the whole front end off to work on the front of the motor, so shouldn't be too hard to do. I mean, I've definitely pulled out a lot of engines. This one doesn't look too bad. I'm just going to disconnect. Basically, you just need to disconnect everything that is attaching the motor to the body of the car. You know, like the air intake, the grounds, the exhaust. Got to pull the drive shaft out. You got to pull the exhaust off so you can get to the drive shaft. You got to pull this header off. The wiring that I don't know about for sure, it would appear that this main harness just goes into this box here, and that I can just you know, probably just unplug everything and leave the wiring with the motor, which I would love to do. The AC does work in this car, and I want to keep it that way, actually in both cars. So that is going to differ than most people probably. Normally you would just discharge the system and then just pull everything apart. I'm going to leave the condenser connected, leave the AC compressor in the car. That way I don't have to discharge the system and charge it back up again, because it works fine. And I know I can discharge it and charge it up again, but if it's not broke, I'm not going to touch it. So I'm going to try my best to leave all that stuff intact in the car. And the power steering stuff, I don't know about that yet. Like I said, I've never pulled one out, so I'm just going to get to work and get back to you guys in a minute. Alright, so get you guys up to speed real quick. Took the air box out, disconnected the alternator charge harness, I disconnected the battery, obviously, disconnected the evap purge lines over there, disconnected the main harness right here, which was pretty easy to get off. I disconnected the brake booster hose there. I'm draining the coolant right now. I removed the splash shield from the bottom. I think I'm gonna go ahead and try and pull this radiator out next. I already disconnected the fan switch on the bottom. Just trying to remove everything that's attached to the car, so that way it'd be easier to just pull this motor out with, you know, obviously with nothing in the way. So upper radiator hose removed, shifter is removed. I got the car up on some ramps right now. I'm gonna jack up the back. I probably can't show you guys the stuff under the car, which is removing the drive shaft and the exhaust most likely. I know that this exhaust manifold is going to be a pain in the butt. I already know it. I can already see the rust and stuff on it. So, and I had a real hard time getting the other one off of the auto car. So yeah. Oh, I removed the O2 sensors over here. Make sure you label all this stuff, but yeah, everything is going smoothly so far. So hopefully I can get this motor out pretty soon. All right, see if we can get these out of here. Perfect. All right, a lot has happened. Excuse me, I was filming and stuff, but whatever. I got drive shaft off, exhaust is all off. That was actually really easy. I pretty much just zip tied the
I zip tied the power steering pump and the AC compressor up to the side as much as I can. I really hope as I come forward it's not going to hit this, because you know there is a lot of stuff it's got to try and clear. I'm hoping as I come out with the motor I can come like up with it like that and clear the AC compressor. I still got to take the radiator support off, the hood latch off, and the condenser. I still kind of have to swing that off to the side. I'm really hoping I can get enough room to get that all out. But all under the car is ready. Drain the transmission fluid. Only thing I gotta do to think is try and figure out which one of these fuel lines I can disconnect somewhere. But aside from that, oh, and I gotta do the heater core lines, which I'll probably do right now. But yeah, aside from that, this thing's about ready to come out. I gotta see if I have some chain or whatever to hook up. There's a hook in the back of the motor back here. See this hook? And then there's supposed to be a hook right here. On the GTE motors there is a provision for a hook, like there's these bolt holes right here. So I might just try and like stick some bolts in there and wrap the chain around the bolts. Well, hopefully that'll be enough. And then I got this like engine leveler thing to try and help me like maneuver it out of there, so we'll see. But yeah, it's almost out, guys. It's just hella work.
Okay.
Got it out of there.
Alright.
Well, clearly it is the next morning. I worked on the car a little bit more. I was able to get the engine out, so it is now empty. Engine bay is empty. Got the engine right here. I apologize for the wind. It is super windy right now, but got the engine out. It's pretty dirty. What I'm gonna go ahead and do, I'm pretty sure that I don't want to, but I think I might have to take this wiring harness off and put it onto the automatic car, only because I don't know where this, I know this has a speed sensor right here for the transmission, and obviously the automatic harness is going to have different connectors and whatnot. I'm hoping that those are two different harnesses and I can like separate them, but if not, I'm going to have to take the harness off of this motor and put it on the other motor, which I don't think will be a big deal. But yeah, motor is out. I'm just going to pull out the pressure washer and clean this off as good as I can. As far as this car is concerned at the moment, this car is just going to, I'm just going to push it out the garage and then pull the automatic car in here and get to work on pulling that motor out. But as of now, this is kind of where I'm going to leave things at for now. I'm not going to show you how to pull out the motor, the automatic one obviously, but yeah, this car now will just go outside. I will clean out this engine bay. I'm just not going to clean it out right now because I'm not putting an engine into this car at the moment. So right now I'm just going to just button this all back up, put the bumper back on, just push it outside and work on it. I am going to clean this motor off though, so that way this motor will be nice and clean and be ready to go back into the auto car. So yeah, I'm going to leave you guys there. Like I said, it's going to pull the motor out the other car. I'm not going to show you how to do all that, and hopefully I have a next video up. I might show you guys, you know, a few things of the auto car. Obviously I'm just going to get that car up and running. There's nothing really exciting to do with that car. I might order a header for it maybe and install that on the car instead of putting the stock cats back on, but I don't know. I haven't really decided what I'm going to do with that quite yet. So yeah, I'm just going to continue this build. Hopefully you guys are tuning into the videos. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I appreciate you guys watching as usual. I'll see you guys on the next video.